Hello everyone, my name is Joe. If you are new to the channel, I review all of your favorite TV shows on this channel, about 4 or 5 a week. And I forgot what else I used to say on these intros. Oh, and I have a Patreon where you can watch even more TV show reviews exclusively on Patreon for those ones. I'm really excited today because I'm going to be discussing the new TV show, The Studio, and I just watched it today, and in my mind I was thinking, oh, I should record this entire thing on one go and never do any cuts or edits. But yeah, I'm not that dedicated yet. Maybe for the finale. This is the new Seth Rogen plus his pal, whose name I can never remember, TV show. We've already seen Seth Rogen in a TV show before. It was, what was it called? I don't remember, but it was about those freaky middle-aged friends that I love that show so much. It was so much fun, and this is why I had hope that this would be a good show. Turns out, it's a great show, guys! Y'all need to go watch The Studio before you watch this review because this is going to be very spoilery, so go watch it before, please. The Studio is about Matt, the character played by Seth Rogen, as he is appointed as the new head of Continental Studios, a Hollywood studio that produces big blockbuster movies. And Matt is an artist. He wants to be an artist. He wants to produce movies that are artful and have something to say instead of just being, cinematic trash, instead of just being blockbusters that make money. But the studio he works for, that he was promoted to be the head of, only cares about money. So they have this new deal to do a film about Kool-Aid. This is a comedy show, guys. This is a comedy show. It's very funny. It has an incredible cast of actors. I will go over that in a second. And this new studio wants to do a big film about Kool-Aid, kind of like Barbie, because that's what they started doing after Barbie. Like this really happened, where a bunch of studios bought the rights to just big brands, big name brands, and started producing movies like this just to turn toys and random shit into blockbusters and make money. So this is what the studio wants to do. Like what's the guy? Is it the CEO that is called, that's the guy who's making decisions? Whatever. The boss of this company tells Matt, okay, you'll get promoted as head of the studio if you do the Kool-Aid movie. So in the beginning, he's trying to figure out how he's going to make this an artsy movie about Kool-Aid. And he has this director to make it kind of a Lego movie type of film. And then in the end, he's talking to Martin Scorcese, who's a guest star in the show. And Martin Scorsese has a film that involves Kool-Aid. I'm not from the US, so I don't know the story very well. But Matt, the head of the studio, thinks, okay, yes, I can do a film about Kool-Aid, which will keep me my job. And I can do it artsy because I can have Scorsese on it. But then he's a freaking coward. He's a freaking coward. He backs off of the Scorsese idea and he just goes with a director that will make the Lego type of film. And that's basically episode 1, where he decides he's going to go in that direction and the episode ends. So basically the first episode is this discussing this idea of a bunch of big ass studios who are selling out to make shitty movies that will just make a lot of money. The whole episode is around it. We have a conversation where they're discussing the idea of doing this the Scorsese way, and they'll have, what's his name? Steve Buscemi as the lead actor, and they have like a meeting to discuss the idea that man probably can't sell well. Like, he's a good actor, but no one cares. He needs to have a name to sell well, so they can't possibly consider it. And the whole episode is about this one topic related to the death of Hollywood, that the big studios only care about making money. They don't care about the art. They don't care about financing good films. They want to make money. That's the theme of the first episode. Then second episode, and by the way, I will analyze some of the details a bit more, but I want you I just want to establish a baseline, okay, of what the story is about. And then in the second episode, the whole theme discussion of the episode is about studios interfering with films. In this case, is a film that is actually good, actually artsy, or has something to say, and isn't just to make money. And Matt, as the head of the studio, wants to go to set because they're filming a oner. Basically, they're filming a shot or a scene that is filmed just in one shot. Like the whole scene, they film it in one shot. And he wants to go because he wants to see it done and whatever. And he just ends up making such a mess of the, it was so frustrating. So frustrating. He makes such a mess of things that in the end, they didn't manage to film the shot. And this was the only opportunity they had to film the shot. So it's basically an episode about the studio interference in the actual art. And it's so funny because Matt is this character who wants to make artsy films. He wants to support actual good films and not just stuff to make money. And then in the end, he ends up making a mess of everything and screwing with a film that is the kind of film that he likes. I'm sorry if the audio is strange. I just realized my microphone was too far away from me. So sorry about those first 5 minutes. Anyway, I will not remember everyone in the cast, so I'm just going to read you the names because as soon as I saw Seth Rogen and his best friend in the show, whose actor's name I can never remember, but I know who he is because he's hella funny and he's in a lot of comedies. I was sold. Also, we start by seeing Paul Dano as Paul Dano. That was so fun. Anyway. So Seth Rogen, the guy I can never remember the name, but who is in a lot of comedies. Paul Dano. We have Bryan Cranston playing the CEO of the studio. Then Kathryn Hahn. She was just doing The Witch's Road. What is it? Agatha. Agnes. What was the show called? Agatha all along. God damn it. We have Kathryn Hahn. We have, Martin Scorsese as a guest star. We have Charlize Theron as a guest star. Stephen Buscemi as a guest star. And the lady, I don't remember her name. The lady who just played in Beetlejuice. She's a big actress. Kevin's mom from Home Alone. She was so much fun in the show. Anyway, the casting is insane. I can imagine that we will be seeing a lot of other, good actors, good comedians in the show. If Seth Rogen doesn't bring, his, the actor that played alongside him in his other TV show, that was his wife in Bad Neighbors or Neighbors. I want her there. If she appears as a character in one of these films that he's producing, it's going to be so much fun because they have such great chemistry together. Anyway, let's analyze the details, the things that make the show the show. The first thing to know about this show, that is basically about the death of Hollywood, right? It's a criticism of these studios that are selling out and just buying into dumb movies that make a lot of money. And the second episode is this show is very meta, right? The second episode is a complete experiment in meta, not films, in this case it's a TV show, but meta filmmaking, meta directing, whatever, because it's an episode about the head of the studio visiting a film set to watch this one shot, this scene being filmed in a one shot. And the entire episode, if I didn't miss anything, the entire episode, 25 minutes, is filmed in one shot. Now, with the amount of great shots that we get in this TV show and details in the background and the way that it's filmed, sometimes it's so much fun and so interesting in the way that they use the camera movement to direct the action and the attention. I will probably do a whole video just trying to explore everything that I notice, but in this second episode, the whole thing is filmed with one shot. And this is the thing of the show. The reason why the second episode was all 25 minutes in one shot is because all of it was filmed in one location. But the first episode is filmed in different locations, but in each scene, like whenever they are in a new location, a new scene, the whole scene is filmed in one shot. It's so cool. So cool. I knew this was going to be a good show, but I wasn't because I never read anything about these TV shows before I watch them. So I wasn't really aware that it was going to be like this. And it's so much fun, guys. Anyway, some details that I noticed that I just need you all, like, I'm not going to analyze, theorize, break down much of these episodes because I don't feel like that's the kind of, I don't feel like that's what I want to do with this show, because I don't usually do comedy shows on this channel, but it's so good. I'm loving it and I want to talk about it. So let's analyze some details that I noticed that you might have missed, because that's so much fun. The first thing that I was like chuckling at was when right in the beginning of the first episode, they are discussing the fact that Matt wants to make good movies, you know, like Rosemary's Baby or Annie Hall. And then he makes a joke like, I want to make good movies, but without the perverts. And his assistant is like, yeah, it's funny how many creeps make good movies. And I really like that. I chuckled, but also it's the idea that one of these like creeps that has been exposed over the years is his ex-bestie, James Franco. And it is kind of well known, at least this is what I've been getting along the years, that Seth Rogen kind of distanced himself from him, that he wasn't one of those people that like defended him till the end. And when like news came out that he wasn't maybe the best person around women, that Seth Rogen actually distanced himself from him and doesn't work with him anymore. Even the commentary within this show is layered and is meta, not only about the process of films and the industry of films, but also about the issues around it and the real life people who are part of the industry and part of those issues today. Which is funny because a lot of these actors are part of this industry and a lot of these actors are friends with people who are part of this industry. So when they are commenting on it, when they are discussing it in the show, they are inevitably discussing about the issues that they are involved with and that their friends and loved ones are involved with, like Seth Rogen pointing out all the creeps making movies. All the while, this ex-friend was a creep making a movie. Isn't that so much fun? Ugh. And then right after that, we get that idea of the building who was built to be a temple to cinema. And it turns out is a tomb because it's where the studio who is killing cinema is at. This idea comes back later. And not just the fact that the camera work is insanely good, the fact that it's mostly one shot, that the way they film it and the way that they like transition from one character to the other, or the way that they use the camera movement to convey the pacing of whatever is happening is already insane. But the pacing of the show is insane. Like in every single scene, it feels like, first of all, it feels like you are in the scene, like you are a little bubble, like floating around, watching what they are all doing. And then it's so fast. It makes you feel like you are part of the action to a point where Seth Rogen's character, Matt, is interrupted all the time. And every time he is interrupted, it's for something not related to the plot. It has nothing to do with what's happening in the show, but it makes the viewer feel like, oh, come on, go on. Why are you interrupting him to ask for green tea? And it's all of these elements paired together make this such a nice viewing experience. Guys, I'm so happy I watched this show. And I want you all to watch it too. Please. But Matt's conflict, basically, I think, from these two episodes, is that he wants to be on set. He wants to be a producer on set, witnessing the magic happen. But at the same time, he wants to be the kind of person who gets to decide which projects actually get made. He wants to be the person who is there safeguarding, making sure that the magic gets to happen, making sure that the right films get to be made instead of trashy films like the Kool-Aid film that he is allowing to be made. So his conflict is this, like he wants to be on set, be a producer, witness the magic, but he also wants to have like a decision, an input in what gets made, and he can't be both. I feel like by the end, he should just stay as a producer, because he even says it when he's talking to Patty, in a really interesting shot that I'll get to. He even says that he was much happier before when he was just like a producer, and he was constantly jealous and angry that he wasn't the head of the studio. I feel like the best conclusion for him is just to go back being a producer and witness the magic on set. One small point that I want to make before we go on into analyzing some shots is that Bryan Cranston's character is like that one presenter. What was it? The Oscars, the Golden Globes, the one presenter that kept making fun of Barbie. That's his character. And another element that I thought was so interesting, guys, is the splash from the past kind of elements and aspects and really just decoration that we see in this show. We see it in Bryan Cranston's style, what he's wearing, like not him, his character. God damn it. I feel like I'm pronouncing the actor's name wrong this whole time. If I am, I'm so sorry. But his character style is very like old Hollywood. Even the way that Matt is dressed, even the other people, it feels like they're all dressing with an old Hollywood style. The car that Matt is driving is very like, it's clearly not a modern car. You know, even the house that the lady's on looks very old-timey in a way. And I feel like all of these people are like dressing like, and even their building, I was forgetting the building. Even their building does not look like a modern building at all. It looks like something that would have existed in the 70s. And it really feels like the show and the characters in the show surround themselves with these elements of style and decoration and aesthetics of the old Hollywood, kind of to distract themselves from the fact that they are killing it, that they are part of the process that is prioritizing money over art. And the fact that they include these details down to the goddamn intro of the show, guys, because the intro of the show is very retro. And this idea that they want to make it look like it's cool and artsy and retro, but really the studio is part of the problem that is killing art in Hollywood, I guess. So this contrast between what they are wearing, what they are driving, where they are living, and where they are working, this contrast between all of these things and what they are actually doing, beautiful, because it just makes it jump at you, right? Why are you buying or paying for a Kool-Aid film, all the while what you value is art and you're driving a cool old car and you dress in cool old clothes? It feels like they are using those elements to distract themselves from the fact that they are killing the good old days, you know? About the way it's filmed, there are so many cool shots. As I said, I will probably do a separate video just analyzing the background stuff. I mean, what was it? The handyman poster? That was so funny. And it's just like a little detail in the background. I feel like there are a lot of these that I didn't notice. I'm gonna have to rewatch because the rewatchability of this show, guys, is so good. I'm praising this too much. It's just been 2 episodes. Chill. I'm chilled. But yeah, the fact that it's like everything is filmed in one shot, like every single scene is filmed in one take, not one take, one shot, probably many takes. It makes it seem so real. And you can even spot moments when the actors make mistakes or something happens, but they continue to act the scene and it still works. Like there's one when they are talking about the director that could direct this, and the guy who is like his agent is talking about making love to the Kool-Aid guy, and he makes a mistake and it just keeps going and it works. Right after that, we see Matt going up the stairs and Seth Rogen trips on something and almost falls, but he keeps going and it just works. It's so much fun to watch. Okay, before I end this review, I need to point out certain shots and aspects because it's just so much fun. First, I'm remembering when Matt goes to visit Patty. First of all, he goes in his car, the camera is in his car, and then the camera gets out of the car together with Matt, which is just fun. And probably was hard to do for them as well. And then he walks into Patty's house, and the whole scene is about Patty complaining that her life is over because she lost her job. All the while she's walking through her mansion in the hills, basically giving us a house tour of her expensive mansion in the Hollywood Hills, complaining that her life is over. It's so goddamn funny. And then when she goes into the kitchen, she literally has a knife on her hand. She puts her down and she says to Matt, you didn't stab me in the back, but it's like you are happy to working with everyone who held a knife, as she just put a knife down. And it's also kind of framing them in a way where we are like on Patty's perspective inside the kitchen. And then there's like a physical barrier between them, and Matt is on the outside of the kitchen. And we are kind of meant to empathize with Patty and see them as like being divided by something, which is the fact that Matt took Patty's job, which he wanted, and was very happy that she was fired, by the way. And it's just, they work so well with the set. It's so much fun to watch, because then they come out of there, they go outside into the pool, and they make their deal, and then it cuts right after to this very different shot with very different lighting, with a different song in the background, kind of giving it this aspect of the La La Land movie, as they are literally looking on La La Land, Hollywood Land, as they are discussing what? The death of Hollywood. It's so much fun, guys. I'm too hyped about this show. I'm too hyped. And then he goes to a Charlize Theron party where Martin Scorsese is there, and he has already decided that he's going to kill Martin Scorsese's script because he's going to do the Kool-Aid movie the commercial way, because he's a coward, and he has to face him and tell him the truth. And Martin Scorsese says, I knew I should have gone to Apple with a script instead of going to you, which is funny because Apple are the ones who are producing this show. And then he goes home, and he and his buddy put on a Martin Scorsese film, which I don't know which one it is. I've never watched it. Whoops. And he gets microwave popcorn, this symbol of going to the cinema and watching a picture, getting a box of popcorns, even in this scene, is cheaped out for like the cheaper version, microwave popcorn, as they are watching, a living legend as a director after they had just killed his last film. Old cinema was so cool. They don't make films like this anymore. I have the opportunity to make a film like this, but I won't because I need to make money for my studio. All the while he's eating cheap popcorn. It's so funny. Anyway, I'm in love with this show. I will probably rewatch it again today because it was so good, guys. And they have such great talent working on it. I need to research more about like how it was created and who was involved and all that. But I'm in love with this show. Please watch it. Please watch this show. If you do nothing else today, watch this show. It's so much fun. And clearly I'll be reviewing all of it, and I won't cut this. I will probably do a separate video. Maybe, I don't know if maybe now, maybe later, I'll see, analyzing specific shots and looking at the background details, because after I saw that one handyman poster, I need to see them all. If you haven't watched the show, it's a poster of a film in Matt's office. It looks like the poster of Iron Man, but instead of saying Iron Man, it says Handyman. And he's like, I don't know, hammering something. So, maybe that's a film and I just don't know. And I'm just an uncultured swine. But that was funny. Anyway, guys, that's all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you watched the show because I guarantee you will like it. Like, there's no way, even if you're not a fan of comedy, if you don't watch a lot of comedy, you will enjoy this. It's so much fun. Anyway, guys, see you tomorrow, probably. Bye.